there, I'm so glad you could join me for another one of our chats. If you don't already know who I am, my name is Mbonane and I am a purpose alignment strategist. Today's video is going to be very interesting for two reasons. Firstly, because I'm speaking on authenticity. I've got 5 mind-blowing things to share with you on authenticity, how to be authentic, what it means to be authentic, and how far authenticity takes you. But also, as I'm recording this to go live on YouTube, I'm also recording to release it as a podcast. Not always, but for the longest time, I've been flirting with the idea of delving into the podcast space. And here's the truth. Although I love video because you're able to see my expressions, you're able to see my gestures, it's very personal. It's like we're having a face-to-face chat. I'm also realistic in that because I'm a young professional, I don't always have a lot of time to watch YouTube videos. By the time I get home, it's dark. I want to connect with my mom. I want to do other things around the house. I want to prepare for the programs that I'm offering as services to young professionals. I don't always have time. But let me tell you what I do have time though for. When I'm driving, I'm listening to podcasts. When I'm in the shower, I'm listening to podcasts. As I cook, I'm listening to podcasts. When I do laundry, I'm listening to podcasts. Just before bed, I'm listening to podcasts. I'm always listening to podcasts because they're a convenient way of consuming information. And that's what I'm trying to do. So I'm releasing this as a video, but also as an audio, as a podcast, because I'd like to hear from you what works best for you. If you're like me and you don't have a lot of time, you will actually appreciate that I still get to give you immense value, but just over a medium that is conducive and effective for you. So I'd like to hear from you. Send me an email, info@mpumi.com, or reach out to me on LinkedIn. I am Mbonane on there, or Instagram @Mbonane. Anyway, or you can actually write down a comment in the comment section and tell me which mode you would prefer best, because I only want to serve you in a way that is conducive and highly effective for you. So without any further ado, let's get into our content. Authenticity. What a time to be alive. Let's go. All right, I don't want to waste any time. Let's get into the juice. First thing about authenticity, it will demand your honesty. By now, a lot of you know my story about how if you would have asked me any time what I wanted to do, I would have told you that I want to do psychology. But I found myself studying an engineering degree, mining engineering at Wits University. It wasn't so great because everything around it was fine. Like, I was appreciative that I had a university to go to. I loved staying at Res. I loved the friends that I made and the connections that I was able to make. But the truth is, I wasn't where I belonged. I knew that there was a gaping hole and it needed to be filled by something, and that something for me was my purpose. I had to be very honest. I had to be very honest in admitting that I'm not okay, in admitting that there's a hole, in admitting that there's a gap. And that was my first step to authenticity, really, admitting the truth. And this is something that a lot of us battle with. I know, facing yourself, digging deep, it's scary. You would rather focus on a lot of other things than really face ourselves or dig within. I know, I've run away from myself a lot of times, but I couldn't anymore. My purpose demanded more. My life demanded more. I had to be honest with myself, and that's the first sign. That's the first step into authenticity. It demands honesty. And what does the Bible say about the truth? The truth will set you free. I'm telling you now, if you feel shackled and like, you're in these chains, you don't know what to do, it's probably because you are not honest with yourself, and you can't live an authentic life before you admit the fact that you don't like where you are, you're not happy with what you're doing, and you know that you're called for more. Second thing about authenticity, it is aided by clarity. Aided by clarity. The root word for authenticity is author, and the definition of author is the originator of an idea or plan. Now, when you originate an idea or a plan, you're very clear about what it is that you're trying to put forward. An idea is something that has been thought out. Even if it's raw, it's something that comes from you. It's authentic. It's original. Now, what I mean by authenticity being aided by clarity is that when you're not clear about what it is you need to do, you don't know the kind of life you need to do. Then you don't know the kind of life that you need to live. And I get it. I was honest with myself in saying this is not what I'm supposed to be. This is not what I'm supposed to do. But the question that I asked was, then what is it? What is it that calls for me? In which place should I be to fulfill that certain thing? And just as you think about clarity, I want you to think about three things: design, requirements, and environments. And if you watched my previous video, you know that I elaborated on these three concepts quite a lot. And here's what I mean. What makes you clear is understanding your design. And in understanding your design, you can then say, based on this design, this is the requirement that I can fulfill. The next thing you move to is, based on this requirement, this is the environment I can best fulfill this. And when I talk about clarity, all I'm really talking about is purpose. Unless you are living out in your purpose, unless you're clear about what your purpose is, I'm sorry to tell you, you're not living an authentic life. And if you're like, design, requirements, environments, what is she talking about? I want you to know that you are very fortunate and blessed to be watching this, because on the 17th of November, I am launching Purpose Unlocked. And in this course, in this 5-week online coaching program, you are going to learn what your design is, what your requirements is based on that design, and the best environment for you to be operating based on your design and requirements. If you want to sign up for this, I'll leave a link down this video or down this podcast if you're listening via audio. Whoop whoop. And in this link will take you to the information that you need to know and give you the opportunity to sign up for the program. I'm so excited for it. You're going to love it. Sign up. Okay, so the first thing I talked about is that authenticity demands your honesty. You have to be honest with yourself about how you feel, what you know, and what you believe. And it is aided by clarity. When you are clear on what it is you need to be doing, you are taking closer and closer steps towards living an authentic life. Another thing about authenticity is that it requires bravery. You already know my story. When I realized that mining engineering was not it, I remember that I worked a job, a technical consulting job, and I hated it. Like, that year was so empty for me. And you know what I did? I switched careers. I completely ditched the mining industry. I got into banking. And although I know that banking is not the end all be all or the final destination, I'm brave enough to say I'm going after what I want and I'm going to do it well. Authenticity will require you to be brave. Once you're honest in saying, no, this ain't it. And once you're clear about what it is you need to do, once you're clear on your purpose, you gain the bravery to move. And I know for a lot of people, the idea of leaving the comfort zone, leaving what they have gotten familiar with, it's scary. Here's what I want to encourage you with. I want to read a verse to you, right? This verse is found in Proverbs 24 verse 27. It says, prepare your outside work, make it fit for yourself in the field, and afterward build your house. I'm not going to sit here and say, oh, jump, take the leap. I'm not going to be that person. That's reckless. What the Bible is soliciting us to do is to prepare the outside work, make the field fit, and afterward build your house. If your house is a new business, make plans, make preparations to fulfill your purpose via a business. If it's starting a ministry, you don't want to go out and make people's lives miserable because all the time they have to be feeding you, buying you stuff. You don't want to be reckless. The Bible tells us to prepare before we build the house. Make sure that the field is ripe. Make sure that you have food once you start building your house. You've got space to plant. You've got a clear field so that you can actually get into your house. What I'm doing is that I'm preparing my sites, right? I'm preparing my sites to take on my cohorts. I'm actually building a clientele. I'm building young professionals that I'm helping out. I'm actually doing work so that once I establish my training and development firm, my field is ready, my outside work is done. When I start building, we're moving upwards. We're not starting over. I'm not out here complaining, oh, I stepped out on purpose and it didn't work. No, the Bible does not want us to be reckless. God does not want us to be reckless in fulfilling our vision, in fulfilling his vision for our lives, in fulfilling our purpose. He wants us to prepare before we jump. Fix your outside work, make the fields fit for you, and then build your house. So if you were ever scared about, oh, what should I do? The bravery will come in you preparing. You are braver to jump when you know that you're jumping into someone's hands, right? You're braver to step out when you know that you're stepping out onto something. Unless God is pushing you to move into what he's calling you to do, I'm going to tell you something. Prepare the outside work, make the field fit for you, and afterward, build your house. And if you're like, ooh, what does that look like? Join the course. I'm going to give you strategies on what to do once you're clear on your purpose. The fourth thing, I love this. Authenticity unlocks creativity. I can tell you now, I don't know how many times I'm in the shower or just sitting and so many video ideas come to me, so many content creation ideas come to me, because I love it here. This is my jam. This is my element. When I'm here, I'm in my happy place. When I'm teaching, I'm in my happy place. When I have to strategize and think of how people can best serve in their purpose, there's so many creative ideas that come to mind. Mara, when I was back in varsity and I had to think of different ways to solve mathematical and mechanical problems, I know, it wasn't working out. It wasn't working out for me. But here's the thing. There were people who could think of a million ways on how to solve a problem. And you know why? Their brains were geared towards that. They could think of a lot of creative ways because that is what they were called to do. That is where they were meant to be. Not me. I'm meant to train. I'm meant to develop. I'm meant to activate. I'm meant to achieve. I'm meant to serve young professionals in this capacity. And let me tell you, creative juices flow every time I think on how to serve my audience. Mara, and I'm very good at maths, don't get me wrong, but it's just not the best place for me. So if you want to unlock your creativity, you need to start living authentically. You need to start being an originator of plans and ideas. The author that was honest, that is very clear, that was brave to actually do what they're supposed to do, and is the most creative. And finally, authenticity cannot help itself but produce excellence. If you're wondering where your excellence is hiding, it's hiding where your authentic self is. If your authentic self is hiding somewhere, that's where your excellence is. Let me tell you something, and I don't mean to brag by saying this. Put a microphone in my hand and put me on a stage. I excel. Put me in front of the camera. I excel. Now put me in front of a mic to record a podcast. I excel. Give me a client to coach and develop. I excel. Another thing you guys don't know about me, I write really well. Put a pen in my hand or ask me to write an Instagram or a LinkedIn caption. I excel. Why? It's not because I'm extraordinary. It's just because in these spaces, that's where my zone of genius is. This is where I'm most authentic. And so if you want to excel in your field, if you want to excel in your industry, you have got to start living an authentic life. All right, that's it, folks. But just a quick recap. Authenticity will demand your honesty. You are going to have to be very honest about how you feel, where you are, and what it is you actually want to do. You have to be honest. Why? Because the truth will set you free. Hallelujah. Okay. Authenticity is aided by clarity. As an author, you need to know what your original idea or plan is. And in order to produce an idea or a plan, you need to understand your design, your requirements, and the environment. If you want to get clear on that, don't forget about the course. Sign up. Third thing, authenticity will require you to be brave, but we have already agreed with before we build our house, we are going to prepare our field and we're going to make sure that the outside work is done. Okay? Good. The fourth thing is that authenticity will unlock creativity. So if you want to be your most creative, You have to live an authentic life. And finally, if you want to excel in your field, in your industry, in your career, in whatever it is you venture into, it's got to be from a place of authenticity. I loved that we could have this chat. Thank you for giving me your time. Thank you for paying attention. Don't forget to tell me what you prefer, the videos or the podcast. But until next time, I am Mbonane, your purpose alignment strategist. Bye bye.